Hello and welcome to another fantastic weekend of racing action. It is Betfred's Punters Guide, and for the first time this season it's all about the jumpers in action in front of the ITV cameras this weekend. So that's why we've got the Jumps Under a Timefrom alongside us, Dan Barber. Dan, we were talking a little earlier, this is what it's all about, isn't it? Just the raincoats are off, these jumpers are being unwrapped, the flat just a little bit a thing of the past, and what a cracking card we've got.
Yeah, don't say the tweed word because...
or carrot crunching.
You know what I mean. Just a great weekend, Matt. I mean, there are races this weekend that if they were taking place during the summer, you wouldn't believe that they were there. I mean, the first race at Ascot gets me as excited as any race we'll see all weekend probably. It's just full of interesting, exciting prospects going chasing for the first time. We've got the top level quality with the Charlie Hall and the Down Royal Gold Cup, and we've just got such a supporting cast, loads of interesting competitive handicaps, and hopefully a couple of fairly strong bets.
Loads of punters' puzzles to solve, that's what we like, and hopefully going to be rewarded with some nice prize winners as well. We're going to start then with the big one over in Ireland at Down Royal. It's return of the Gold Cup winner at Manila Indo. We've got Frodon, the King Georgian, and Paul Nicholls got such a good record in this race as well. We see Galvin in this. There's obviously been a bit of talk about the jockeys as well, who's riding who this week. But Manila Indo, Henry de Bromhead, Rachel Blackmore back on board. Great record at the festival. Would it be cherry ripe first time out?
He might not be, but will he have to be? I think a lot of it rests as well in terms of the opposition. Delta Worker's never fired in this race and probably never at this track. I mean, for some reason it doesn't seem him. And also he's so prone to the odd mistake that can hold him back wherever he races. And with Frodon, sort of how good is he? I don't know. The handicap win looks fine from last season off a high mark. But the win in the King George, it just felt like a below par renewal to me. He got to control the race. Stablemates didn't fire. Surname was atrocious for one. So I thought almost by default you come round to Manila Indo, and I know Frodon will be primed because it's Nicholls and he wants to win this race every year. He's been winning it 4 years, dating back to even Corto Stone, I think, won it 1 year.
Yeah.
So we know it's an early season target, he's earmarked, but I just think Manila Indo's too good, and I think even the Manila Indo that turned up first time out last season might have won this race, where he absolutely broke. I think it was Milan Native he ran against in a small field race. I think he's a very hard favourite to oppose. So what you're basing it on? You're opposing him because he might be slightly unfit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Galvin, and I thought it was a really nice reappearance. I just thought, having that race fitness, he'd be a bigger danger than Frodon for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I was definitely of the opinion that in the aftermath of Galvin's reappearance win, that not enough was really made of it. He gave weight and a beating to two really good handicappers of Mullins's who'd been out and run to high figures in handicaps, like running off 155 and stuff, I think, in the case of the runner-up. So that on the ratings was a big run first time out, and he's still got the scope to do a bit better. Yeah, the fact he's been out could be a massive edge, and I, like you, I'd put him up as a bigger danger than Frodon, even though the market probably won't agree. There
we are. So that's the Down Royal Gold Cup. Of course, we've got a Gold Cup trial at Wetherby as well. I say Gold Cup trial, I mean, it's 6 months away. We're very, very early days. But obviously, I don't expect any of these really to line up in the Gold Cup come Cheltenham. But it's a decent grade too. It's Wetherby's feature. Surname won the race 12 months ago, but he's blotted his copybook on too many occasions for me to be a player at such a short price.
Yeah, you might as well discuss him while scratching your head, because I just don't think you really know what you're going to get from him. I think he showed last year, and he showed when he saw off Altior, albeit in the strange race where they had that match together, that he is a very top-class chaser on his day. I mean, he's got loads of ability, but I just feel like sort of being outweighed by the blobs. I mean, he's pulled up twice last season after the Charlie Hall win. I think he's probably got less to beat this year. Vindication would probably be second favourite for this race if he ran in it, and he saw him off with comfort last season. Wright was back in third, and he didn't really have to come out of second gear. I think that's a key thing with him. When it's in his comfort zone and he's not taken on, I think he holds up to it better physically and mentally. But do you want to be taking short price about a horse that's had another wind up during his absence, pulled up when last seen? Trouble is for me, Matt, I really don't know what to pick as an alternative. Tentative vote for me would go to Chamblou, who is from a stable who are so good at targeting these prizes. He went to Wetherby to win his first 2 starts over fences.
And I remember you was talking about him last year. You said it's a long time since you've seen a novice jump so well.
Yeah, a brilliant jumper who... The stumbling block for him is Top Wheel Ben, because we know he tends to force the pace, but he's not been seen since April, and the stable's rather quiet. Maybe Chamblou will be able to clear him early. He could be a stumbling block. I just think it's a very hard race to have a strong betting view in, but I'd be amazed if this isn't cup final territory for Chamblou. They love having winners at Wetherby anyway, I was there the other week and they withdrew their horses because I don't think they were happy with the ground after the first race. And you could just sense they were gutted as much as anything that that's a track that they target and they were going to run good prospects there. And they didn't. They started Chamblew at the track last season, a brilliant jumper of a fence. And you just get the sense with Surname, it doesn't take much to knock him out of his comfort zone nowadays.
No, certainly doesn't. Yeah, it's been absolutely cracking renewal of the Charlie Hall. 35 minutes early, we see another former festival winner as well in Paisley Park. And another one, probably not as dramatic as Surname, but another one who's had issues over the last couple of seasons. We know about the physical issues, of course, but he ran really well last year. Won at Ascot, third in the Stays, and then kind of, was that race too soon at Aintree next time?
Yeah, it might have been. He didn't fire for whatever reason. Returns with the stable going really well. That's one thing you would say. And I think I've done an about turn with this race. When the entries and decks first came out, I thought, well, 3 miles, goodish ground, first time out, will it be enough of a test for him? Then you look back into the form book and you remember that it was a similar setup last year when he was second, giving weight to Time Hill in the long distance hurdle at Newbury. That was 3 miles, good ground on his reappearance. He's just better than them. That's my belief. And he's more genuine than Thomas Darby, whose head goes in the air every time he's in a tight finish. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but the way I'm sort of viewing this race is, what price would Time Hill be if he ran here? We're dealing here with a horse who's not got much to find with Time Hill and has got a verdict. He's got 2 verdicts over Time Hill from last season. What price would he be, Time Hill, if he lined up here? I think he'd be odds on because he's the coming force. Paisley Park almost in forgotten horse territory, and I just think he's a better animal than them.
Yeah, so you're going to see Time Hill over in France. He's going to make his debut over there, going to try and snare a few euros. Right, let's move over to Ascot then, because this is where the real competitive action is from. The first jumps meeting of the season at the Royal Racetrack. And this 210 is an absolute belt of the listed handicap hurdle. You can make a case for probably all of the 14 runners in here, Dan.
Yeah, it really is warm, and I think as a punter, I don't know what Fred's going to do on the show on Saturday. You wouldn't be surprised if he was looking to boost the first 2 in the betting here to try and get them on side, because they are taking an awful lot out of the book. That's Soaring Glory, the Betfair hurdle winner, and Boot Hill, the unbeaten and exciting Harry Fry reappearer. I was looking at one at a price here. Two at a price, actually. 1 win only, 1 each way. The each way horse I thought was Ellen Valley. Consistent, took well to hurdling. The Fred Winter form looked strong when you look what Jeff Kidder did subsequently at Punchestown. And the other one who'd be a complete all or nothing horse is Global Citizen for me. The fact they're bringing him back age 9, after 3 pulled up last season, they could have knocked it on the head. Chasing never really went for him. He had 1 run over hurdles last season. It was trying to make all in a county hurdle. Good luck with that project. He's returning off 142. One of his last runs in a handicap, he won off about 145 in really good fashion. He beat Silver Streak off level weights 2 years ago in a champion hurdle trial at Haydock. And he reappears here with the stable going better than it had for ages. I thought it was, if he can't do anything first time out, he probably won't do anything for the rest of the season. So in a race lacking pace, I thought, I didn't think there were loads of competition for the lead. I wondered if he could get clear under conditions that suit, and a very fast jumper of a hurdle as well. That's something else to say about him.
Yeah, the 2 against the field for Dan. I'm a big fan of Boot Hill. He's only his second start of the hurdles. Not sure how he'll take the hurly-burly, but I think there's loads of upside in his market. And Megan as well. I mean, she would have won at Chepstow for sure. So I think she's a kind of a winner without a penalty when she fell 3 out at Chepstow. We move on to the Handicapped Chase then, over 2 miles. And the key piece of form here is from Aintree in April, Dan, where we had Editor de Guide in first, Solidoc Double A in second. Yeah. Back in 4th was Pharaoh Bamba, and 5th was Grey Diamond, and they all reoppose.
Yeah, that in itself makes it hard because you're basically dealing with who's going to be cherry ripe for the day. One thing you mentioned about Solidoc R is the fact that he did it first time out on this card last season. He ran in the novice handicap chase. So I think he'll be ready, but off 147 now, I mean, he's a lot higher in the weights thanks to that win at Punchestown when we last saw him. He only beat Raya Time. Raya Time was stuffed into second at Ludlow the other day on his first start for a new stable. I wonder if the form book might be turned on its head slightly. I've been such a fan of Sam Thomas so far this season. I think 3 winners first time out, before midnight made all at Cheltenham just last weekend. And Grey Diamond came off worst of those that ran in that red room, but he'd been good at Sandown prior to that, and I think the race sets up quite well to him. I like prominent races at Ascot over fences. The big fences, you need to be full of zest and enthusiasm. You can make ground while the others are chopping and changing positions in rear. Editor de Guide's the one who will be going out attacking, as he did at Aintree, but Grey Diamond's a lot better off at the weights, £9 better off and I think he could have the perfect trip sitting second throughout.
We are the Great Diamond Fair. Daniel Sam Thomas has started the season on fire. He's got a couple of nice ones to fire as well over the next few months. Right, we move on to the London Gold Cup, the Handicapped Chase, the Grade 3 at 3:20, the Regal Encore Gold Cup. This is incredible. It's his 12th run over course and distance, Regal Encore. It's his 4th start in this contest, second to Vindication 12 months ago. And when he went to Wetherby last year, he managed to get his head in front. I mean, he absolutely loves it here. And Anthony Honeyball is obviously sending him back.
Yeah, he's an amazing horse. His Ascot record's unbelievable. If you isolate his Ascot form, it's quite staggering, really. Second, as you say, and first in the last 2 renewals of this. But he's 13 now, man. There comes a point, I think, where age has to outweigh how effective he's at the track. And he's not like he's reappearing off a generous mark that's fallen. He's paid for his consistency, if anything, last season. Vindication should go well. Coming back into handicaps after spending his time in Grade 1 races will be like a massive relief for him almost. But I like Anthony Honeyball's other horse in this race. I thought Sojourn was quite interesting. I was at Carlisle for Racing TV last year when he won in pretty staggering fashion, keeping up a record of winning first time out every year. Won a bumper first time out, hurdle first time out, and that Handicapped Chase last season. And he just went off at a pace that I thought wasn't sustainable. He ended up keeping going. He won by 15. He's gone to the Tommy Whittle at Haydock after that. He's pushed Sam's Adventure all the way. Sam's Adventure won an Ida later in the campaign. And then he had an excuse for his final start when he cut a leg in the Grand National Trial. Always like Honeyball's horse his first time out. The market will probably want to be all over Regal Encore because he's Mr. Ascot. But if the ground continues to worsen, I thought his stablemate Sojourn was at least as interesting.
Interesting, yes, Sojourn, a big chance for Anthony Honeyball. We mentioned John BB as well, who was a good second to Happy Go Lucky at Aintree last season. That was his first start of this trip. And just a quick word on Glenn Forster as well. Charlie Longsdon, first start for him. I mean, on his old form of 2019, he looks very well treated.
Yeah, he was one of the best jumping novices we saw of that season. He was spectacular as he was climbing through the ranks. I don't know what to make of that trip. I don't know whether we judge Mick Shannon's jumpers leaving him as a plus or a negative. I really don't know. He has so few jump runners. We've got such a small sample size. But at 50k, it might actually be worth a go because you can compete in good company. He's basically a straightforward horse. They're trying him as a 3-miler now. Maybe that will work. But one thing you would say is Charlie Longsdon, a bit like Nigel Twiston-Davies, who we might discuss in other races, has sort of rolled back the years, I think, this autumn. They're having that bang-bang start to the season that they used to have after a couple of years without it. So I definitely wouldn't rule him out. Unexposed at the trip, good jumper, and a horse they'll want to win with. It's quite a statement if you can pay 50k for one out of a good yard and win with it first time out.
There you are, then. There's 6 of the main races on ITV covered this weekend. There's loads more as well. We're down across our social media channels. But give us a best bet of the weekend, please.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a horse at Wetherby, if I may. I mean, I've been chatting to you in the office about this. It's half a piece who goes in the handicap hurdle, race 5 at Wetherby. Just loads of Wetherby form. Pam Sly operates at 25% strike rate at the track. Ran at the course first time out last season, one of 3 finishes in the frame at Wetherby for the horse last term, and would have been right there with the winner had he not blundered at the last 2. Somehow the handicap has dropped into 127. He ran off 130 at Cheltenham, Matt, in the middle of the winter last season, and would have won, I think, but for crashing out the last, that fall that injured Gina Andrews and left her off the track for a while. Well handicapped horse, always like the stables runners at the track. He's the most excited I've been about a bet for a good old while, and I don't know if you can sense that when we've been chatting off here.
Yeah, out with the flat, in with the jumps, and Dan's getting excited about it. Half a piece, and in the 340 at Wetherby, his best bet of the day. Thanks to Dan for joining us. Then so we'll look at all the races across all of our Betfred social media channels on Saturday. What a weekend it is. We've got the returning Gold Cup champion over at Downwell, a former stage hurdle hero at Wetherby as well, and loads of exciting runners lining up at Ascot. Enjoy the action.